something, frankly, bizarre is happening. Elon Musk, the guy who has spent years on X trolling the World Economic Forum, calling it, an unelected world government, is walking onto the main stage.
And he's not just making a quick appearance. He's sitting down for a fireside chat with Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock.
With Larry Fink.
And I mean, it's a visual that would have seemed completely impossible, 3 or 4 years ago? The ultimate disruptor sitting down with the ultimate institutionalist.
Exactly, the rebel meeting the banker. But here's the thing. Musk didn't just show up to, play nice for the cameras. He showed up with a plan.
A very specific one.
Right. We're looking at a stack of reports today, mainly a huge breakdown from Wall Street Condensed covering this dialogue. And let's be super clear, this is not some vague, one day we'll live on Mars vision board.
No, this is immediate. We're used to CEOs giving us these comfortable 10-year horizons. Musk is talking about a fundamental rewrite of civilization that starts, pretty much now, the next 12 to 24 months.
So here's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to strip away the Davos hype and just focus on the 4 massive pillars of this blueprint he laid out. Humanoid robots, AI, autonomous transport, and space.
And how they connect.
And how they all connect. Because when you read the transcript, you realize it's not 4 separate products. It's one single machine.
It's an ecosystem. The robot needs the AI needs the power comes from the space tech. If he's even half right on this timeline, the world looks very, very different by 2028.
So let's start with the pillar that feels the most like pure science fiction, but according to Musk, is about to be a household appliance. Optimus.
The Optimus project has really come a long way. I mean, you have to remember, this started as a dancer in a spandex suit.
Oh, I remember people laughed at it. It was a meme.
It was a total meme. But at Davos, sitting with Larry Fink, he put a hard commercial date on it. He stated very clearly that public sales for the Optimus humanoid robot begin next year.
Next year.
And
so 2027.
2027.
That is it's incredibly aggressive. Hardware usually takes forever to iterate. I mean, we have to apply the Elon time filter here. Right? Did he give any caveats?
He did. And this is the nuance that really matters. He didn't just throw out a date. He attached a strict performance metric to it. He said sales will only start when Tesla is confident in its extreme reliability, safety, and functionality.
Okay, that's a big condition. What does that even mean, functionality?
The benchmark he used was staggering. He said a user must be able to ask it to do almost anything.
Almost anything. That is a massive leap from folding a shirt in a lab video.
Yeah.
That implies a level of general dexterity that we just haven't seen yet.
We haven't.
So where are they right now in early 2026?
Right now, they are deployed in Tesla factories. That's the testing ground. They're doing what he calls simple tasks, moving parts, some basic assembly. But the source report highlights a very steep curve. By the end of this year, 2026, those same units will be handling complex tasks.
So the factory is the university for the robots.
Exactly. It's a high-stakes training ground where they learn physics in a controlled environment before, they get released into our messy homes.
Right. And that has to connect to the money side of things, the valuation. The people at Davos would have been focused on that.
Oh, completely. This was a key insight from the Think discussion. Musk said that 80% of Tesla's value now comes from Optimus.
80%. Not from the cars.
Not the cars.
It's a huge statement. My neighbor thinks Tesla makes electric cars. But Musk is saying the cars are just a side hustle now.
The logic follows the labor market. This was his big macroeconomic pitch to the Davos crowd. Musk's theory is that if you introduce a workforce robots that cost pennies in electricity and can be manufactured in the billions, the cost of labor
drops to basically zero.
It drops to near zero for almost any physical task. He calls it a global economic explosion. He's talking about moving from an economy of scarcity to one of total abundance. He was throwing out numbers like billions of units.
Billions of robots.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a utopia and a horror movie at the same time.
It does. He calls it civilization insurance, the idea that robots fill the gap if we have a demographic collapse. But to have a robot that can do almost anything, you need a brain.
Right. A body without a brain is just a mannequin.
And that takes us directly to the second pillar, artificial intelligence.
Okay, and this is where the timeline gets even tighter. Experts usually say AGI is, 10, 20 years away?
He was stark. His prediction is that AI will be smarter than any human by the end of this year, 2026. Absolute worst case, 2027.
I just want to pause on that. Smarter than any human. Not the average human. He means smarter than the best physicist, the best strategist.
That's the implication, the technical singularity, the point where the machine exceeds its creator. And he's connecting that intelligence directly to the real world. The brain that drives the robot is the same brain driving the car.
Which brings us to robo-taxes, another one of those coming soon promises. I feel like I've been hearing robo-taxes next year since 2016.
Well, we're past the promise stage. The report confirms that right now, January 2026, driverless robo-taxis, no human in the front seat, no safety supervisor, are actively running in Austin, Texas.
On public roads?
On public roads. It's a live beta. It's happening.
Wow. Okay, so Austin is one city. What's the rollout plan from there?
The plan is massive deployment across the U.S. by the end of 2026. And by 2027, he expects the service to be very, very popular nationwide. He basically told the Davos audience that autonomous driving is now a solved problem.
A solved problem. That's a very confident phrase for something people are still pretty nervous about. Do we have any hard evidence, outside of Musk just saying it, that it's solved?
We actually do.
Yeah.
And this was a fascinating little nugget in the Wall Street The Catchin report. Musk mentioned that some insurance companies are now offering half-price premiums to Tesla owners using the full self-driving software.
Okay, now that cuts through the marketing speak.
Right.
Insurance companies don't give discounts for fun. If they're cutting premiums by 50%, their data must show the car crashes way less than a human.
Exactly. It's a financial vote of confidence. And it's not just the U.S. The report says the European market is potentially approving supervised FSD as early as next month.
February 2026. That's huge. European regulators are so strict.
If they're signing off, the data must be overwhelming.
Okay, so let's stack this up. You've got the AI brain in 2026. You put that brain into cars in 2026, then into humanoid bodies in 2027. But all of this, the AI server farms, the robots, the cars, it all needs a ridiculous amount of power.
Which is the bottleneck, the power crunch. And this is where the blueprint leaves Earth's atmosphere. Pillar 3, space.
Starship. We've seen them catch the booster with those Mechazilla arms, which look like CGI. But how does a rocket solve an energy crisis?
It starts with launch economics. The goal for this year, 2026, is full reusability. Catching the booster was step 1. This year, they want to catch the ship itself, the upper stage. If they can do that and reuse both parts like an airplane,
the cost plummets.
He claims they can reduce the cost of accessing space by 100 times.
100x. What does that do?
It creates a whole new reality. He wants to get the cost down to under $100 per pound. At that price, you aren't just launching satellites. You can launch heavy industry into orbit.
And that's where the energy comes in.
Precisely. In orbit, solar panels are about 5 times more efficient.
Because there's no night, no clouds.
Constant peak production. So Musk predicts that within 2 to 3 years, the cheapest place to deploy massive AI compute will be in orbit. You launch the servers, you launch the solar arrays, and you just beam the data down.
That sounds incredible, but also kind of vulnerable. Putting the world's brain up there.
It is high risk, no doubt. But he's not ignoring Earth either. He dropped this other stat saying a solar farm just 100 miles by 100 miles could power the entire United States.
Yeah, that visualization is always surprising. A patch in the desert sounds doable.
It is, physically. And to back it up, he said Tesla and SpaceX are building 100 gigawatts of solar manufacturing capacity in the U.S. within 3 years. So you see the loop. The energy powers the AI runs the robots.
It's a closed loop. He's building the car, the driver, the mechanic, and the gas station. But I have to circle back to the setting, Davos. Why go there now after years of fighting the establishment?
It's the Davos paradox, right? I think it's purely strategic. He's moved from the disruption phase to the scaling phase. If you're building a blueprint to reshape the global labor market, you need the capital allocators. You need the Larry Finks.
So it's a move from being the outsider throwing stones to being the architect showing blueprints to the bank.
Exactly. He framed it as ensuring a good future for civilization. He needs the world's elite to fund him, not block him.
And speaking of civilization, we have to touch on the weirder topics. Did aliens come up?
It did. And for a guy building rockets to Mars, his stance is surprisingly lonely. He said there is zero evidence of aliens.
None.
Zero. He pointed out that SpaceX has like 9,000 satellites in orbit. They are watching the skies constantly. He said they have never, not once, had to dodge a UFO.
That's actually a pretty compelling point if anyone would know about strange traffic up there.
It would be him. He operates on the assumption that human consciousness is incredibly rare, that we might be the only candle in the dark, and that explains his urgency.
That's a heavy thought. It explains the Mars obsession. What about the other big one? Aging.
He touched on it briefly. admitted he hasn't studied it much, but then he called it a very easy problem to solve.
He called curing aging easy.
It's the engineer's mindset. To him, the body is just a machine. Find the root bug that causes aging, and fixing it will be obvious.
Okay, so we have robots, superintelligence, space servers, and curing death. How did the room, and more importantly, how did the market take all this?
The market loved it. Tesla stock jumped over 4% that day.
Why? Do they believe all of it?
They're buying the pivot. They're finally valuing Tesla not as a car company, but as an AI and robotics company. If he delivers even 10% of this, just the robotaxis, the revenue potential dwarfs the car industry.
So let's summarize the calendar for everyone. 2026 is...
2026 is the brain and the rocket. AI gets smarter than humans. Robotaxis deploy. Starship becomes reusable.
On 2027.
2027 is the body and the scale. You can buy an Optimus. Robotaxis are everywhere. The first space-based AI infrastructure starts coming online.
It's so fast, it's disorienting.
It is, and that's the so what here. Musk is betting everything on the convergence of all these things at once. It's a feedback loop.
Better AI builds better robots.
Which build better solar panels, which power better AI.
Correct.
Precisely. And if that loop gets tight enough, the entire definition of an economy changes.
That's the part that really sticks with me, the idea of abundance. We think in terms of jobs, salaries, cost of living. But if a robot can do almost everything for pennies, what do we do?
That's the ultimate provocative thought from this. If the cost of goods and services drops to near zero because labor is free, what happens to the concept of value of a job?
We trade our time for money. If time is no longer the constraint,
then we have to figure out what humans are actually for. If the economy becomes infinite, the challenge isn't survival, it's meaning. Why get out of bed if the robot can do it all better?
And that is a problem that no software patch can solve for us.
No, that one's definitely on us.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap this deep dive. The blueprint is on the table. Now we just have to watch and see.
It's going to be a very interesting 2 years.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you in the future, which is apparently arriving next week.
Take care.